Now, before we get into today's top 10 games on Quest 3, I wanted to point you to two other videos on the channel that may help you out. First of all, I want to point you to my all-time favourite games on Quest 3. This is a massive list encompassing all sorts of genres, so definitely check that out in the video description. And the next one includes mixed reality games, which you'll also find in this video description. If you enjoy this video, please remember to leave a like, subscribe for more VR content, and remember to leave your top 10 down below for other people who find this video. In at number 10 is Breaches, the fantastic tactical 5v5 VR FPS that is pretty much Rainbow Six in VR. Triangle Factory have ensured a large online player base now due to being available on other platforms with cross-platform play, and have added more maps since release and more content coming soon. If you haven't played Breaches before, you can play as two factions, the Enforcers, whose job is to disarm the bombs, which is actually my favourite side to play because tactical infiltration in VR is a real buzz, and Breaches nails this feeling. If you get the right team online, planning your entry and working together is really exciting, and it's a truly amazing feeling. You'll also have some tech at your disposal depending on how much money you earn based on your killing skills, which is very similar to Counter-Strike. You can buy breaching foam, cloaking devices, drones, regenerative health shots for you and your team, and once inside, you'll be on the lookout for floor traps, door blockers and more. All of this makes this a fantastically intense first-person shooter experience, which is only going to get better thanks to the developers Triangle Factory. At number 9 we have Red Matter 2, which recently got Quest 3 enhancements and is truly stunning to behold inside this headset. And for a mobile gaming device, this version stands up extraordinarily well to the high-end PCVR version and the PSVR 2. There's simply nothing else quite like it. There's some jaw-dropping environments with some really cool puzzles, and it includes a little bit of combat, unlike the first game. I also feel this game is a lot faster than the first game to play. You'll never forget the first time that you land on the rings of Saturn. It's truly breathtaking, and personally I really enjoyed the story. In at number 8 we have Contractors. This is a very popular game online, mainly due to the super modding engine and community. These mods are not only good visual representations of some of the best levels from games like Halo, Star Wars Battlefront and Call of Duty, they also have some transformative physics for games like Halo and feature all the best weapons from those games. The weapons themselves feel and look realistic and will give you hours of playtime, and that's without mentioning the zombie maps. As a fan of the OG Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies mode, nothing else delivers a VR FPS modding scene quite like Contractors, and is easily worth its current pricing on the store. Phantom Covert Ops comes in at number 7 and is possibly the oldest game on this list. To be sure of my thoughts, I jumped in today on Quest 3 and the attention to detail still makes this one of the best games I've seen. It's a fantastic and unique spin on stealth infiltration due to the entire game being set inside a kayak, and the kayak mechanics are still pretty realistic and will definitely scratch the itch for those of you who have played Metal Gear Solid, and it even features the voice actor of Solid Snake. Not only does it have a lengthy and satisfying campaign, there's also challenges and weapons to unlock, and my favourite of these is the compound bow. When I compare this to some of the games we have gotten recently, it really does still tick so many boxes, and I hope Dreams brings Phantom Covert Ops to PSVR 2 and we get some Quest 3 enhancements for the future. In at number 6 is the 7th Guest VR. The original 7th Guest released it back in 1993 and is described as an interactive movie puzzler, and alongside Myst, it was considered a must-buy game on PC, Philips CDI and Mac. Now onto the VR version, which features fantastic 3D motion capture, which lends itself incredibly well to virtual reality. The graphics on all platforms are excellent and has enhanced graphics coming to MetaQuest 3 soon. As you enter the mansion, you have a magic lamp which shows you the past in real time. Watching plants come back to life, lights illuminating, cobwebs disappearing and paintings changing from normal portraits to nightmarish images in real time is truly amazing inside the headset. The puzzle variety is huge, fantastically clever, and will definitely give your brain some challenge. The 7th Guest VR is a must for all VR puzzle fans, and if you get stuck, there is a full playthrough available on the channel. At number 5 we have Resident Evil 4. I've been a fan of this game since it released back on the Nintendo GameCube, and I've played pretty much every remake since, and excluding the all-new remake released by Capcom last year, this VR version on Quest is my personal favourite. Developers Armature, who handled the port, went above and beyond, making this accessible to all VR users, and with the inclusion of Mercenaries mode, there is hours of content. The action is amazing, weapons feel satisfying, and if you use an app called Quest Optimizer, which if you're not aware of, I'll leave a link to in the video description, you can up the resolution and the frame rate on Quest 3, making this look and play fantastic all over again. At number 4 we have the Light Brigade. It's the only roguelite on this list, which I found pretty surprising when I made it, because I'm a big fan of the genre. But for me, currently no game does it better than the Light Brigade. You join humanity's last line of defence and journey through procedurally generated battlegrounds as many times as it takes to free the souls of the fallen. It features really beautiful music and a great art style. You have 5 loadouts to unlock, featuring weapons such as a bolt action rifle, assault rifles, shotguns and SMGs, and they all feel great and pretty unique. Plus each class has its own perk, and it's recently been enhanced for Quest 3 and has a very cool mixed reality mode. At number 3 we have Walkabout Mini Golf, which for most of you is probably quite unsurprising, because really this game has unlimited replayability due to all the crazy DLC and is a brilliant way to catch up with friends online. The game looks kinda simplistic on a flat screen, but is actually really beautiful inside the headset. There's DLC from well-known films and games, avatar customization, and it's simply a very wholesome game to play. In at number 2 we have Assassin's Creed Nexus, which for me is the best Assassin's Creed game I've ever played. Becoming Ezio for the first time and seeing the blades spring from your wrists is so unforgettable, and the parkour is exactly what you'd expect coming from the flat games. You can also embody 2 more characters spanning across 17 chapters. It's a lengthy campaign, the game is gorgeously detailed, and this is seriously one of the best games on Quest right now. And now finally, we come to number 1, and for some of you this might be a bit unsurprising, but it's Asgard's Wrath 2 by developer Sanzaru Games. They have made one of the most impressive VR games I've ever played, and putting so much goodness on a standalone VR device is nothing short of impressive, and every player I've spoken to online who has experienced Asgard's Wrath 2 tends to feel the same. The story sees you set out on an adventure to get revenge on trickster god Loki, spanning over 4 different heroes with a massive world to explore, and for me, it really does have it all. Great graphics, deep gameplay, amazing puzzles, and hours of gaming. It can feel a bit overwhelming at first, but if you stick to the main story quests, you'll find yourself becoming accustomed to the menus and the progression, and when it all finally clicks, you'll discover one of the very best games released in 2023. And if you're still on the fence about Asgard's Wrath 2, check out my full review in this video's description. Well, there it is. As I said, remember to leave your list down in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one.